Here are some stock tips by ChatGPT. As a disclaimer, none of what we say should be taken as financial advice. This is purely educational.
Hey guys, if you're interested in building a 6 to 7 figure portfolio using the power of stock investing, head over to the comment section or the description to sign up for our free masterclass so that we share with you exactly how we do it.
Okay, MJ.
Yes.
So the famous ChatGPT that everybody is talking about.
Correct.
Yeah, please tell us what is actually ChatGPT.
Well, it's an AI-assisted search engine. This is in contrast to Google.
Okay.
I mean, there's some AI involved no matter what, but the basic idea is that now, unlike Google, where let's say if you search, how to whatever XYZ, there's a chance that you're going to get an article or a video that was very well SEO'd, meaning the company or whoever is behind those articles was very good at gaming the Google system. And a lot of these are just product pushers or service pushers. So there's a lot of financial incentive. Now, again, a long story short, what does it mean is that people have found a way to rank their product services higher in response to your question. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to find out what is the best sponge that you can buy, and then you Google, you type in best sponge to buy, what shows up may not be the best. It might be just someone who can promote it a lot better than everybody else.
Right. So
there's a risk.
Google, if I were to make a distinct difference between these two, right? Yes. Google, it's more of if you got the marketing expenses to spend, then your website will probably push up to the top.
And then you do your SEO well as well.
Right. And then ChatGPT, it's more of a information based, purely information.
So that one is more, it goes back to more of the original intent of a search engine, right? What is a search engine? I want to find out what I need to know.
Right. Okay.
But then there's a financial incentive in Google to make it a bit more challenging. I'm not saying Google is bad. It's just that now with OpenAI or ChatGPT, you're going to get answers a bit faster and they're going to be a little bit better.
Right.
Now in contrast, it also answers things that you maybe didn't ask, but then you would have asked. Based on the response you get. So
right. I think to demonstrate to you guys some of the examples, right? So if you type in the Google, let's say what is stock investing. So generally it will come out a bunch of options in the first page, and then it's pretty much scattered around everywhere. So some of the definitions may not be the same as one another. Yeah, because it's all from different people. Whereas for this,
and then you also have to figure out whether or not it's actually accurate or what's the best way to go about it.
Yep, correct. And for ChatGPT, so we can actually type this, and if you want to even dumb it down, right, the explanation, we can actually add this thing called explain it to me like an 12-year-old.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, so you see, so it's really great. So there's a lot of ways you can go about it. So one of the things that people go on Google is it depends on who is searching, but sometimes they want something a bit more meaty, right? They want a more dense version. They get disappointed on Google sometimes when they click into a link and it's a very short description. It's not much. So with ChatGPT, you are able to actually ask the AI to explain it at different levels. So you have just done one, which is especially I'm a 12-year-old. But if you want the reverse, you can also do it. So for example, you can tell me now what is stock investing. Explain it to me in 500 words, right? And then you get a much longer explanation. So you key in.
Let's do that.
Right.
Let me copy this.
In 500 words. Yeah. Right. So you can see now. You let it load, but you produce 500 words. So you get a denser version. Now, what's interesting also is how you can use Google and and ChatGPT together. Okay, so like while we wait for this to load, let's go to a random website. So let's see, let's go to Investopedia, right? So you can see this is a pretty long article, right?
Yeah, it's definitely more than 500 words.
Yes, definitely more than 500 words. So then the reverse was like, okay, that's a bit too much. So what you can do is you can actually go and copy, right? Let's say this part. You want to know all this, so you can copy.
Right.
And then, okay, so you can see
it's already quite long already.
Okay, so you can type it in, like summarize this in like three points. The above, summarize the text above in 3 points, something like that. 3 points. Yeah.
Wow.
So you see? So you can take an article, you want the gist, and then they just give you 3 points. Right? And if you feel 3 points too little, you can put 7 points.
Right.
So there's a word limit. I cannot remember what the word limit is to put it inside. You can't put like an entire book here, right, and summarize for you. But certainly you can do that. Now what's also quite cool is that you can actually go to, so some of you prefer to maybe listen to podcasts or all that. Oh, sorry, maybe let me rephrase. Maybe you think that the podcast is really good, but you're not a podcast listener. I know some of you out there don't listen to podcasts. But you want to find out the information, right? So you can actually go to podcasts and then actually go under captions, I believe.
Okay.
Copy everything, the whole entire hour or 2 hours worth of caption, put it into ChatGPT and ask them to summarize in 15 points and 20.
Basically getting the transcript of the whole podcast. And then, yeah. Okay.
So that's another way you can, play around with all this and how this is very helpful.
Okay. So since we're in a finance channel, right? And we're
correct.
all about stock investing. So how does this actually help us as a stock investor?
So as a stock investor, what it does is that it helps you shortcut your research. So let's use Malaysia, for example. Malaysia is a country where a lot of companies are not what we call B2C. So unlike, let's say, America. So America, there's a lot of dominant companies that are very B2C. Okay, example would be Apple. Example would be Netflix. Example would be Microsoft, right? They build a product, whether it's a software or something physical. They put it right in front of the consumer and then the consumer buys it. Now in Malaysia, what we actually do is we typically have companies that either support these B2C companies or support the companies that support the B2C companies. So in other words, it's B2B, it's business to business, right? So we're saying now, based on my experience, B2C companies, because they are interacting with the consumer, i.e. people who do not have as much technical knowledge as them, what ends up happening is that especially good companies will market their products in a much simpler and easy to understand ways. So if you look at companies with the best marketing, it's always B2C companies, right? Whether it's an alcohol brand, whether it's anything.
Soft drink,
right? Anything, can be anything, right? So with B2B kind of businesses, typically it's between two technically more advanced group of people talking to each other.
Correct.
Therefore, when they describe their business in an AGM or their website or anything, a lot of it is very jargon filled.
Yeah, and the website also, it feels very ancient.
Yes, very ancient. Yeah, it's since the 90s. So now, why is this relevant to you as a stock investor? Because you want to know some of the industry terms. And if you were to do it yourself through Google, again, you will face what every person faces with Google is, how do I know the information is accurate and things like that. And even if it's on Google, what if it's written in a way that confuses me even more? Information overload, stuff like that, right? So one example that I would give is the report that we did for our FIRL Pro program on Masterpack. Right. So I know nothing about the packaging industry, specifically with wood.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was wood's role in the packaging industry, but I knew that that's what Masterpack was doing. Now, specifically, they're not the ones chopping the wood and carving the wood out in that sense. No, they're not carpenters. But they do in a way some carpentry work for specifically wood pallets, ETS?
Usually they source the wood pellets from the supplier.
They source straight, right? Yeah, exactly. Now, the question is, for someone like me who's not in the industry, I don't know what wood pellets are. In my head, pellets are like for paint or, you know.
Okay, got
so
it.
I'm like, okay, what in the world it is? So you can Google, right? And you ask, what is wood pellets? And then they'll give you a definition which usually is not, like, it's technically correct, but you don't really understand. But with ChatGPT, you can just type in like what is the purpose in wood pellets.
Right. Okay.
Right? So let's say you type in what are wood pellets. But guys, before we move on, if you're someone looking to level up their stock investing skills and you need a lot more guidance, we do have a one-on-one program called the Mentorship Program. If you're interested, you can apply it in the comment section or the description. Yeah. So, you know, it explains to you, right? So the purpose is for transporting and storing goods in a stable and efficient manner, right? They're widely used in various industries, manufacturing, warehousing, retail, etc. Okay, now, so that's one level. So now, you know, through one sentence, you can roughly tell, okay, this is why the company is quite important, right, in the supply chain. Okay, great. Then, if you study Masterpack as we have, you know that they are very linked to the solar industry.
Correct.
So then you figure out like, okay, why are wood pellets used in the solar industry? So you can type it in, right? Why are wood pellets used in the solar industry? Yeah. So they're cost effective and they are a practical solution for moving and storing heavy and fragile solar panels. So we know solar panels are fragile, right? So why do they need wood? And so they
and it also can be reused multiple times.
Yeah, it can be reused. So it's eco-friendly, right? So again, now you have developed, for you to get the information that you just got in 2 minutes, if you just use Google by itself, there's a lot more, unless you're a very, very good Googler.
Yeah, you have to link the puzzles together and everything.
So you see, as far as a stock investor goes, ChatGPT is not going to tell you whether you should buy Masterpack or not.
Correct.
But to figure out whether you should buy or sell or hold or whatever Masterpack, you need to figure out roughly the industry and things like that.
Correct. Yeah. Actually, also to top it out onto that, right? We also have a Masterpack deep dive on it also. We will just link the archive in the description or comments down below, so they can just check it out if you just want to know how we actually analyze stocks like Masterpack, which is in our FIRL Pro. But if you want our whole list of stock portfolio, I believe there is like 15 stocks already in FIRL Pro. But there is actually, we covered more because we didn't really include it in the portfolio. But yeah, if you want to find out what are the companies that we have covered so far, make sure to check it out in FIRL Pro. Yeah. Yes. And anyways, back to ChatGPT. Yep. Okay, so I've also been using this tool for quite some time to understand like value chains or even some like technical terms like what.
How was your experience when you use it?
It has been pretty good. I mean, in terms of time, it definitely helped me.
It's all about that. It won't give you the full answer.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
But as long as I can understand what is this term and what is a value chain of semiconductor industry, for example, right? Yeah. As long as I just get some sort of an answer to my question, I think I'm actually pretty sufficient.
Yeah. And this is I think version number 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Number 2 and number 3 for GPT, right?
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 all are coming along, which they can personalize the AI to you. So they'll know like your asking patterns and things like that.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of noticed like here, you see, on the left, the corner, they kind of right there, they like kind of register stock investing for kids. Right. Like chat with a 12-year-old.
So everybody basically is Jarvis, right, from Iron Man. It's the beginnings of a Jarvis. You just don't have a voice and, you know.
Yeah.
So they let the AI understand your patterns. And then also in the future, what's going to happen, I think, is that, you know, this sort of ChatGPT stuff actually is really happening. Correct. They're going to start breaking up into different industries.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I managed to like scroll through some articles on Facebook, right?
Yes,
also I realized that ChatGPT actually managed to pass us exams like even your medical license exam, your CFA level 3 or something like that. Yeah, so it's pretty remarkable. And also, I'm not sure whether did I double check with this, but then I saw an article also that they can also predict what stocks Warren Buffett would likely buy in this market environment. Yeah, but I haven't really used it here yet, but in the article, it does show what stocks he will slightly buy. So the two stocks is basically just PepsiCo and Unilever.
Yeah. So okay. So maybe now it's time to talk a little bit about the limitations.
Yeah. Correct.
Right. So PepsiCo, Unilever. I mean, Buffett might buy, but
but
based on my understanding, it's a small potential.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah. But let's just do an experiment. Right. Let's just type right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. So now this is when it starts to generate more standard answers. This is correct, straight out of a legal document, something like that. But yeah, I mean, these are some of the limitations, right, of ChatGPT. It's not going to tell you your future. It can't tell you who you're going to marry, when you're going to die. Yeah. So you have to understand the limitations. But as far as stock investing goes, I think it's all about shortening the time. However, it's still very helpful to cross-check with Google. So if you read something on ChatGPT, please go back to Google and search up, think of it as, I don't know, what's the word? Automatic and manual driving.
Okay.
There's certain, by and large, automatic driving is a lot easier and it's better. But there's certain things that manual cars can do that automatic can't do. And that's manual is slowly becoming, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the manual is like Google and ChatGPT is like automatic.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Google also has been quite desperate, right? They've been spending money, have to how to create the next ChatGPT or something. And actually a lot of Chinese companies also is right now spending money on this. So it's pretty crazy.
But I'll be looking out for the the stock investing or the industry kind of research version of flavor of ChatGPT.
Okay, so before you go that, right, just that final question is also something linked to what you are saying, right? Is what sort of feature or function that you wish ChatGPT has as compared to now?
As a stock investor?
Maybe I'll share my one first.
Yeah, you share yours.
So my one is basically because right now we have to copy the entire text or transcript or certain things and then we have to input it, right?
Okay.
So what I wish is that, for example, annual reports. So we can download a PDF. We can actually just put it inside here and then it would just highlight to us the 5 points or 10 points of inside the annual report. Yeah, so that is something that I actually really hope that ChatGPT can create.
I think two comes to mind. The more I think this one will take some time is fraud detection. So for example, not necessarily detection, but give a profile, the financial profile. So let's say, to your point, I download the PDF. So you can get a summary. And perhaps you have to probably feed the AI information on how you would like your things to be organized so that the AI will be able to figure out in the future. Essentially a research assistant. So you can summarize the points. But then another separate profile will be the financial fraud identification, where you'll be able to straight away highlight to you
what are the red flags.
Yeah, so what you can do is net profit is consistently lower than operating cash flow over the past 7 years. When it comes to situations like that, let's say 75% of the time it has led to fraud. So it should have that backlog of data, which leads to my second point, which is updated data. Right now, ChatGPT is only until 2021. If I had to guess, it's for good reasons, because there's so much data, right? And you need to store that kind of data. There's going to be physical limitations, right, for that. Of course, the ultimate one is when it's on-time data. So if let's say, the quarterlies came out. Let's type in what is Maybank's revenue. What is Maybank's revenue? Right. Yeah. You see, you don't even have it, right? So this is not Malaysian, don't even have it, right? But I'm sure if you type in the US ones, they'll have it, like Walmart and all that. But even if you did type the Walmart one, it's going to be until 2021. The dream is when you type, let's say Walmart releases earnings, immediately after you type on ChatGPT, bang, it will reflect what they literally just announced.
Right.
That will be ultimate. There's a lot of other things that I'll do, but these are the two things.
Okay, fair enough. That's pretty interesting conversation that we had here about ChatGPT. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you subscribe and smash the like button. But before we go, just want to show you guys our portfolio that we have been having. So this is our January.
Our ang pao.
Yes, correct. So for January, if you compare today's video as opposed to last week's video, you notice a difference between the percentage gain. I believe the last week's one was around like 50 to 60% gain. There's one stock, which is stock A. So today it's like up 88%. That's pretty good. And actually most of our stock is actually on the green. Except for this 1 stocks, which is still quite very little, like
less than 1%.
Less than 1%, but still pretty decent. And we actually I will be making more, writing more stocks report. Definitely won't be 15. There will be actually more than I don't know, man. By the end of this year, it's going to be like 30 or 50 stocks.
Yeah. So we what we do is if you sign up, you get a minimum of 2 stocks minimum. But historically, over the past 5 months, we have published on average 3 to 4 stock reports.
Yes, correct. And if you're still not convinced about this FIRL Pro, you can actually check out our free sample.
Yes.
The links to access this free sample, you can check it out inside. There's FIRL Pro. Yes, correct. So there's like FIRL Pro, and also there's the SIB program. The links are just now, as you mentioned, in the description and in the comments below. And with that said, we'll see you in the next video.